You already know what it is. We're back. It's episode 19. We're just...
That's a spike in the audio.
Credit at that.
We're just one episode shy of episode 20. I'm here with my co-hosts. I'm Nate Lambert, in case you didn't know from my enormous head. I'm here with my co-hosts, Kyle Bernier and Nate Agnew. What's cracking, boys?
Not much, man. Just celebrating some Christmas.
Celebrating some Christmas. Nate, did you meet up with any relatives for Christmas or anything?
My aunt came over.
Aunt Kay?
That's it.
That's the same aunt that paid for you guys' cable, right?
Yeah.
Did
Aunt
you pay,
Cable.
Did she pay for your cable or just... Thank you, Aunt Cable. Did she pay for y'all's TV too or just the cable?
TV. She bought the TV.
The Wi-Fi. Yeah, all of it.
Internet.
For real?
Yeah.
She hooked you up, man.
It's pretty clutch.
It was
Technically, she paid cable for me. Kyle never watched TV.
Yeah.
But I had to have it for basketball.
Were you just watching like Netflix and stuff like that?
I mean, I would.
I don't think I ever saw you watch regular TV.
Not too often.
Like cable?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's not that I didn't want to. A lot of times I just didn't have time.
Too busy sleeping.
Trying to sleep.
That's actually true for you. Yeah. You're a horrible sleeper.
Yeah.
If anybody has like, I don't even know, like medical grade serotonin, like just hook Kyle up with it.
If anybody's got like a tranquilizer
Just hit Kyle with a trank dart before bed every night.
That puts you in REM sleep, that'd be
Michelle's
great.
like, Michelle walks in your room, she's like, all right, babe, turn over. She just tranks you right in the butt.
Oh, that sounds
And you're
That's
out
the only
like,
problem with sedatives is that they don't actually help you. You're not sleeping, you're just sedated.
You're just out.
You know, like your brain doesn't actually go into the deep REM sleep that you need.
Wait, I didn't know that. For real?
Really? Yeah, that's the problem with sleeping pills.
Really?
Like
Yeah,
melatonin.
so fun fact, no, not melatonin.
Yeah,
The
not melatonin.
The problem with melatonin, from what I've heard, is that it's only beneficial if you're in different time zones because it gets your circadian rhythm back in alignment with where you're at.
Yeah, circadian
But if you're,
rhythms.
And your body gets used to it, so.
I think it does. But then sleeping pills, all they do is sedate you. So they just knock you out, but your brain doesn't actually go into like the deep level of sleep that it needs to. Same thing with like drugs and alcohol. People use alcohol to pass out.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with drugs or alcohol.
Mm-hmm. I learned that from podcast. Shout out to podcast.
Are you linking another Are you?
With Joe Rogan.
Okay, you're plugging Joe Rogan? Okay.
Yeah, he brought on a sleep specialist, and they were talking about it. And he was saying that with the problem with drugs and alcohol is when it's in your system, it takes hours for it to get out of it. Let's just call it 6 hours. And so during that 6 hours of your sleep, you're not actually sleeping. You're just kind of knocked out, I guess. But once your body's processed it and gotten it out, then your brain goes into like overdrive with REM sleep, and you have like these crazy wild dreams trying to make up time that it didn't have the dream. Oh. It's insane.
Kyle, whatever you did, that was like the smartest talk I've ever heard anybody say.
What?
That was like that whole thing. That was just like the smartest thing I've ever heard anybody say in my life.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, I'm not.
Are there green beans in there?
No, this is avocado, green pepper, which you hate peppers.
Yeah.
Peppers are good on everything.
Except they're good for you.
Peppers are good on pizza.
I don't like them.
Peppers are good on pizza. They're good on eggs. They're good on...
I don't like green peppers, though, to be honest. I like red peppers.
You do?
Yeah.
Can you eat them raw?
Yeah, I could eat red peppers raw.
Have you ever done that?
No, I don't like peppers.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Like peppers with hummus or peppers with like cream cheese or something?
Yeah, that's good.
How good are onions for you?
Very good.
Because in the movie yesterday...
Not with what I agree. I don't agree with that.
You don't think they're good for you?
They produce gas in your system.
Yesterday in the
There's
movie,
a gas called Raffinose.
He would eat raw onions.
From what I've heard that vegetables or fruits and vegetables that are in the white family, because some onions are white, right? There's white, there's
red, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure the white color is good for your immune
Let's not
system.
make this about color.
Oh my gosh.
We're all one race, the grocery race.
Got a problem, man.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm looking at it.
How many eggs is that?
Onion benefits.
It's got to be 3.
I think it's 3, and I went double meat today. I went bold. I did sausage and bacon. I'm feeling pretty powerful today. All right, talk.
All right.
Do your talk.
5 surprising ways onions can. Let's see, and I'll even quote the website so people can. It's Medical Daily.
And
So
you're gonna cite the website, not quote it.
Don't cite it.
Yeah.
They don't deserve it.
Whatever.
Don't use citations on our assignments.
Let's see. Okay, asthma. Onions have antihistamine effects due to quercetin, an antioxidant that acts like an antihistamine and an anti-inflammatory agent.
What if I don't have asthma?
All right, well, whatever. Then cancer. Onions can help reduce cancer risk while combined with turmeric. Chemicals found in these two cooking ingredients found the combination of onions and turmeric creates a synergistic effect that reduces both the size and number of precancerous hosts in the intestines.
Isn't that why?
Pretty wild.
Was it you or maybe it was my mom? Somebody
Diabetes.
told me the other day that, like, I don't remember if it was India or something like that. The cancer rate is like way lower because they use turmeric and everything.
I didn't say that, but I could see that.
Kim told you that. She's been doing some reading.
But I bet that they have other like ailments that we don't have just due to their environment. Like I bet they're higher in one category and lower in another just because their environment's probably pretty.
I agree with that.
Pretty bad.
There's not a lot of emissions flying around in the air.
Yeah.
Cars and stuff.
They got
heart disease,
mosquitoes.
So it's good for heart disease and it's good for tooth decay. Raw onions may make our breath stink, but they can actually improve our oral health. Simply chewing a raw onion can strengthen teeth and eliminate bacteria that can lead to tooth decay.
That's borderline not worth it though.
I like my teeth.
Well, think about this. Why would healthy teeth be a good thing? 'Cause if you don't have healthy teeth, how can you chew your food to eat?
Well, yeah, but just brush your teeth and.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, I always think about this too. People before toothbrushes and before toothpaste and Listerine, how did they keep their teeth healthy? I guarantee it was because their diet. Their diet was a lot cleaner than ours is. Their body was a lot healthier.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. But I mean,
this took a wild turn,
dude. You really showed out. Like, I respect you. I respect what you did for the people.
Just now?
Yeah, just
no doubt,
doing
man.
smart talk and talking about how
nutrition, man.
Talking about drugs and how your brain works.
Drugs.
Yeah, man.
No one's gonna like that.
I know. I'm gonna have to cut that out.
You want to hear about a wild dream I had the other night?
I love.
Can I share this?
I love hearing about your
I
dreams.
think I didn't share this with you. I don't think.
Does it end on a motorcycle and a sidecar screaming down the highway?
That will forever be. We
Jason
need to
Bateman.
create a
Jason
movie
Bateman.
of that dream.
It's gonna be like Threat Level Midnight on The Office. If we made a movie out of that, that's exactly what it would be like.
Great.
Running with the devil, blaring through the
It
speakers,
was epic. Man.
riding a sidecar. Yeah. All right. So tell me about your dream.
Now that I'm thinking about that dream, my dream doesn't feel near as awesome.
Bro, dreams are. It's all
no
relative.
dream can top.
It wasn't awesome. It was actually scary. I was having a bad dream.
I like scary dreams.
I love scary dreams.
I like hearing about
I
it.
don't like scary dreams.
Okay, well,
Well, my dream wasn't scary. It was just something that was happening to me that I didn't like, so it made me feel not good.
Velvet.
Suede.
Anyways, in the middle of the dream, I wanted to wake up. I realized that I was dreaming.
That's the best.
So then you're there, but it was like I realized it, but I still hated the dream
Is
so
that
much.
is that called a lucid dream?
I think so.
I think that's what that's called.
Because then once you realize it, then you can control the dream.
And you're like,
then you're in like deep sleep.
And then you're in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when you're deep asleep.
I think so. I would think so. If you can, or a dream within a dream might be the deepest sleep.
Oh gosh, I don't think that's possible.
Have you ever had that? I've had that before.
What?
Yeah, I've had a dream.
You've
within
like
a dream.
you've incepted yourself.
I guess.
Like you had a dream and then you.
Yeah. So I was dreaming, right?
This is next.
And
level.
then in my dream, I was in a hotel room in a bed, and I kept falling asleep in the bed, having another bad dream.
Bro, stop.
I swear to God,
What
because
is
then I would
this?
wake up, and I was with my brother. I'd wake up, and I hated it, and then I'd go back into it, and then back, and then finally I actually woke up, and I was like, "What?"
So let's make sure I have
I
this
don't know.
straight. So you're asleep. You have a dream. You're in a hotel with your brother.
Yep.
It's really not that complicated.
I get it now.
I remember the room too, because the TV was on, so it was like dark, but you had the light from the TV, and I kept falling asleep in that bed.
See, that's
and having a scary dream, and then going in and out of it.
that's confirmation that. And I know I'm not crazy. I don't have to confirm it, but you have a lot of dreams about TVs being on in the middle of the night.
You remember that?
So I know for a fact that I didn't.
At regionals, I had a dream.
That's right.
And I got pissed off.
Dude, I woke up and he was like, "What the man? I'm here for 3 days." And he's like, "I specifically told you in the door by 9 and don't cut the TV on. Why would you cut the TV on?" And I was like, I literally for a second I was like, "I cut it on."
I ruined it.
And then I was like, "No, I didn't. I've been sleeping.
We
You
talked-
gave me 7 melatonin pills."
We talked about that on the podcast. That was one of the first
Yeah.
podcasts we ever did.
Yeah, I drugged him with melatonin. He was out.
I just love the fact that like you woke up and you're like, bro, like, God, it was like my chance. And he's like, I didn't cut it on. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
But that's happened to me a couple times, I guess, now.
Well, so what happened last night?
Oh, no, it wasn't last night. It was like a week ago or something. But I was dreaming that I didn't know where I was going in the dream. And for some reason, that was freaking me out.
Okay.
It was really scary.
Like you're running somewhere or like driving?
I was driving somewhere, but I was driving somewhere and driving nowhere at the same time.
Okay.
So it was like this really like weird.
You're tripping.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So I wanted out of the dream, and then I realized I was dreaming. But the only way to get out of the dream that I came to, because I couldn't actually wake up, was to do something that I would never do. Right? Like
okay. Like crash the car.
Yeah, like purposely crash. Like, why would you ever purposely crash a car unless you got an actual problem?
Like do cocaine.
Yeah, have you ever heard that before? Like,
Yeah, I think I understand.
I don't know. They did do it a lot in movies.
Yeah.
Where someone's living an alternate life and they don't realize, and they come to the only way out of it is to like jump off a building. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's yeah.
Yeah,
you'll die. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
You'll die from doing.
But anyways, I had
stick
to.
the landing every time. I'm not kidding. Every dream.
That's a good thing.
Like I'm falling out of airplanes in a dream, and like the clouds are going by me, and I just
like a superhero landing.
That
I guess.
that metaphorically means probably a good thing.
And I get the same feeling, like that feeling that you're falling or like on a roller coaster.
Do you wake
in
up?
my dream.
Do you wake up?
No. I try to stay in dreams as long as possible.
See, that's
I've
weird.
been able to wake up, scary dream, good dream, whatever. Wake up, literally open my eyes, and be like, "That's like this is crazy," and I can go back to sleep and go back into the dream.
I've tried to do that. Well, I don't try.
I can't do it all the time, but sometimes
I can't do that.
That's my favorite is when you wake up from it and like you go to the bathroom and then you lay back down and you're like you set yourself back in that place like in your mind you're thinking about going back to that same setup and then you get back in it and you're like, what up? I'm back.
Sometimes the majority of it, this is probably more so bad dreams than good dreams, but it's still like a very relieving feeling. If it's a good dream and I can like, or even let's say for example, if it's a scary dream, I'll try to, and I realize in my dream that I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
Because I get scared because I'm out of control and it's almost like I'm watching myself.
Yeah.
But as soon as I realize, oh, I'm in a dream, then I can control and it's like get away from whoever. But a lot of times it'll be like I'm having a dream and it's I Am Legend. Like that. Like that's what's happening in
like
the world.
And
in my head, I'm like, man, when I wake up, I'm screwed. But it's really weird. Like I have to address this situation, and then I'm like, wait, no, it's just a dream. And I'm like, all right, I'm out like a light.
Oh, geez.
It's kind of great.
See, dreams are. I think there's a way that you can practice getting better at lucid dreaming.
Yeah, there's people that.
I guarantee you, all of us tonight will have some sort of dream now.
Maybe, but it all has to do with. I mean, how deep of a sleep you can get into.
It's just I just keep having dreams about me not showing up for work.
Oh yeah.
And Steve calling me and telling me that
That's terrible.
to come to his office first thing when I get here.
I have that a lot.
Everybody's done that before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kyle. Let's show the people what we're working with here. Got some new kicks for Christmas, and
I literally was about to buy those. The only reason I didn't is because they didn't have
Put
my
mine in front of
size.
yours.
we're just new boot goofing.
New boot gave from
New
that.
boot goofing. 3 payments.
Three
Three
payments.
payments of $29.99.
Pure ostrich.
Yeah, I like these.
I do too.
I hope that I don't know if how hard I'm gonna train it in yet. I don't want to ruin it.
I respect that about you, and
That
you
inside
now,
eggnog.
and you now too. Like having shoes that you don't wear to train in. Like I don't have that kind of discipline to keep a nice pair of athletic shoes. To me, they're all just training shoes.
Yeah.
Like I respect that.
I've always had a bad habit of that. I get a pair of shoes and in like 2 or 3 months they're just destroyed, ruined, and I always hate it because I love them when I get them.
Right.
And just,
It's like when I got a couple pair of like low top Jordans. Like those are not
Like
gonna
what?
get,
Like in the mid '90s.
no, like lately, like over the past 2 years.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get those dirty.
Jordans.
So if I
Aren't
coach,
those
them-
really expensive?
oh yeah,
Well, I know what I'm gonna. Well,
depending on
Okay.
which ones you get.
well, I know how I'm gonna get back at you for.
If you can't, if honestly, if you mess up anyone's Jordans, like
Let's go Browns, baby! I don't think we were able to see you. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we got him. Yeah. I'm all in on Baker. Speaking of, I'm all in on Baker.
Browns.
Yeah.
Wait.
legit.
What's the deal?
The Cleveland Browns.
What about them?
They're doing good.
They're doing really
Are they gonna make the
I haven't been following it at all. So
No, 'cause
what's
it's
left
been-
of the season before we see who's going to the Super Bowl?
Playoffs?
One more, playoffs.
So we're in the playoffs right now.
One more week of regular season, I think.
Cleveland
Are they in
Browns are
playoffs?
7-7-1 right now. They have a 50-50 record.
It's not. It would be a 500 record, not a 50-50 record.
Yeah, that's
And
I know what you're
technically,
saying.
that's tampered with because they have a tie in there as well. So before we start reeling off stats, Kyle's got the dreams and nutrition. I got the sports side of this of the show. So whatever it is that you do that, and don't do what I do. Okay, I love you like a brother, but don't say that they have a 50-50 record.
Okay. Well,
It's 500, man.
so
Come on.
would that-
Come on, man. Wait, so are they going to be like a wild card team if they keep playing well?
They could get in the wild card.
What's the record have to be to wild card team? Seven,
Right.
like 7-6?
No, there's
doesn't
not a
matter?
specific record. It just
specific
depends on what
record.
everybody else's record is and who wins divisions, and then you have the wild card. So it's not a
But it's usually a team that's not as high ranked, right?
Right.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, I think like the Giants made the playoffs and they had a losing record. Like they were below 500, but their conference sucked. Like everybody had a losing record, but like the best losing record won the conference, and then someone
got
won
it.
the wild card.
Okay.
Play the wild card game.
What I was
never
trying
understood
what I
that.
was trying to do was try to look up like games that are on tonight and try to get your picks real quick. People that were playing tonight, try to get.
Is
your
anybody playing?
I don't think anybody's playing.
No, not tonight. But I mean, I'm all in on the Browns. I'm all in on Baker. I love his attitude. I'd love to be able to be that brash, but you know,
Brash, as in like confident? Like cocky?
yeah,
He's pretty cocky.
he's pretty cocky.
Is it?
Yeah,
But
Baker.
he's a stud, dude.
Is it?
At one game where he played for Oklahoma, he made a big play and he went back to the sideline and like walked down the sideline to get lined up with their defense on the other team, and he
Yeah.
grabbed his nuts and he was like,
They were playing Kansas, and he
That's
kept
right.
sitting on the
Yeah.
bench going, "Yeah, stick to basketball," because they're really good at basketball. He's like, "Yeah, go back and play basketball." Well, it started because he met. There's two Kansas fans that met at midfield like, before the game to shake hands.
"That's what it was."
and the kids wouldn't shake his hand
That's right.
because
Wow.
the coaches told
Yeah.
the kids don't shake Baker Mayfield's hand. So he went out to shake the other kids' hands, and they wouldn't
kids'
shake.
kids?
Yeah, like they were like 7 years old.
Yeah.
What?
And so Baker reached out to shake their hands, and they have their hands
And
behind
he
their
and he
back.
did the little.
And he was like, "All right, bet. This is how it's gonna be."
He did his
And
thing.
Tore them up.
Wow.
Put like 56 points up. It was outrageous.
It's actually really cool.
So we've got something we need to talk about today. We've got some very strong opinions on fitness, fashion, apparel. Not fitness, fashion. I don't know why I say fitness, fashion, but I think just clothes you wear to the gym.
Yeah, no doubt.
This segment is called Joggers versus Sweats versus Shorts.
Mm.
And I think I know where Agnew stands.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand?
Shorts.
All day.
Yeah, I don't care how cold it is.
What is it? What do you have against pants, just in general?
I don't. There's a small part of it is like you don't really need sweatpants. It's not that cold. A big part of it is like now we have the heat, so it stays like 58 to 60 degrees in here. At the old place when we trained, I never wore sweatpants,
No, you didn't.
and it was no exaggeration colder inside than it was
Oh,
outside.
yeah, you get down to the 30s in there.
I mean, it was easily 34 degrees. Like
That is.
It was like an icebox.
it was,
So
it was
awesome.
just miserable.
Wow.
People steaming as soon as they walked in the door because their bodies
Yeah.
were warmer than the air.
That's one of the coolest feelings, man. When you finish a workout,
You
you see the steam coming off.
I
you.
love that
Yeah.
so much.
Great feeling.
Except it's not. But
It lasts about 5 minutes, and then you start to freeze again.
yeah.
Nipple
I don't know. I just honestly, I've probably owned two pair of sweatpants. in my life,
pants.
and
Two square pants.
I just then now I don't know what happened to them. I honestly, I think one of my girlfriends took them or something. So I don't know where they are.
Yeah, I bet you should.
Well, So is it more of like a mental toughness thing for you, or you just?
Yeah, I'd say it's more that than anything.
Really? I just thought you didn't like wearing
No,
didn't like wearing
I don't
sweats.
have a problem with pants or khakis or jeans at all, or sweatpants. I don't have a problem with it at all. But I think it's probably.
Or you just wear? Would you wear like sweatpants around the house? Like you just kicking it?
No. I would never wear sweatpants in the house.
I love wearing sweatpants in the house.
I love wearing
it's,
long-
it's cold outside. You get out of the shower, put on some sweats, a
Pajama
shirt, some
pants.
socks, just chill.
Some plaid pajama pants.
And I'm very picky about my shorts. Like I will wash the same pair of shorts repetitively
Yeah, I've done that.
to wear them.
I do that.
Like, I honestly have like 5 pair of shorts, and the
Yeah.
fifth, I don't love him. But
I don't love them.
But the 4, they got to
Interesting.
be.
It's gonna be a no for me.
You're like Chris Byrne. Chris Byrne comes rolling in no matter how cold, short sleeve shirt, and
Yeah.
a pair of shorts.
Yeah. I wear a hoodie because I mean hoodies. I've always liked hoodies in the winter. But
Interesting.
what were you gonna
What
say?
do you say?
I was thinking about Chris Byrne. We
Drop-
need to give him a headband. He needs to rock the
Ooh,
headband. He's
yeah.
got his hair flowing every day.
Yeah, Chris Burns got he might have taken the flow game the throne of the flow game away
Oh,
from you.
no doubt.
If he didn't have it before, he definitely has it now.
We gotta put it up in a bun one time though.
Oh
Yeah,
tight.
yours is always in a bun though.
Yeah, his would look good in a bun with how long his is now. But I used to be.
You kind of look like one of the 12 disciples
Yeah,
with your hair down.
it does.
I have heard
I'm
that.
feeling like a Simon Peter vibe from this guy.
So many people that have. You look like Jesus.
People from church.
I wasn't.
No, just anybody.
Yeah.
When is Andy going to use you in is Jesus going to use you at Easter? Yeah, is Andy going to use you at Easter for like a live action?
For your eternal sake, I wouldn't do that.
Here's a question: Is it? And this is a very serious question. Is it sacrilegious or blasphemous to talk about this? Would it be considered that?
To say
you
look
looking
like,
like somebody?
Or to say that to say I look like Jesus. Like
I think it's something like I would not say that personally because it's just might be flirty.
So is it
you don't want to?
So is it okay to say that you look like
him?
Yeah, I don't
but
think
would it
it's
be
bad.
wrong to be like trying to look like that
Yes,
person or
yes.
trying to own to that?
So if that's your goal, I would stop.
No, it's not. It's definitely not my goal. Well, I just wondered how I should respond when people say that because I don't know if it's like it's kind of funny, but
I would
just
It
laugh and
just
say
kind of makes me
thanks.
feel
Just
weird.
be like, I'm just being me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, this is just what I look
But
like.
what's funny is it's like historically and geologically, you do.
It's accurate.
Yeah,
Because
tan
they're very
skin,
dark.
beard.
They're way darker than you.
Jesus was not a white man.
You ever seen the picture at the end of Heaven is for Real?
I haven't seen that one yet.
The picture? Maybe I'll pull it up. You can carry it in.
pull
But
it
there's
up. Agnew's on it.
laptop's faster. There's a picture at the end of it. The whole movie is the kid died and he saw heaven.
Yeah.
And then he came back, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's telling his dad about no one believes him, but his dad starts to believe him, but whatever. And then there's apparently another girl somewhere in the world that had the same thing happen, and she drew a picture of Jesus, who she saw, and the picture is crazy,
Like
cool.
freaky?
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's crazy cool.
Agnew's gonna pull it up.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh,
I
swag.
think that's it. Yeah,
Oh, Bob. Wow.
it's wild,
That
right?
does- I mean, that's
In my mind, that to me,
yeah.
that looks like who you would see.
You have
I do think, to be specific, the beard would be more of black and he would be darker.
he'd be a little
darker.
I agree with that.
What we've been told is he's kind of like Arabian.
Yeah.
He looks like that.
And he grew up in that area, so I
Right.
guarantee he had
Yeah,
some
like
tan
Saudi
skin.
Arabia, Iraq area.
He worked outside too.
Do you ever, I was listening to this. I was watching this stand-up special on Netflix by a guy named Mike Birbiglia. Agnew hates this stand-up special, but I really love it.
It's not. I don't hate it. It's just not the best.
He talks about how he grew up. He grew up in a Catholic church, and like in Catholic churches they have like the crucifix on the wall, and he always talks about how good of shape Jesus was in every crucifix he ever saw. He's like, you got this guy, and he's hanging on a cross, and he's ripped and shredded. And I was like,
But bro, if you think about it, like
for real.
all he did was walk.
Had to
All
be.
he ate was fish
Fish and bread.
and bread.
He was a carpenter
And
for the
you
first
just
30 years
move
of his
wood.
life.
Like he was probably
Yeah.
Well, that's
jacked.
Andy just said that to us the other day in the kitchen. That I think it's been misinterpreted that it wasn't actually that he was working with wood. Is that he was a carpenter of stone.
Oh yeah, he did tell us.
I don't know
Bro,
if that's
that'd
he
be
did.
dope.
I think he said that's what it actually means.
I don't remember.
I don't want to be giving the people misinformation.
That's why he was a lean, mean, soul saving
Which
machine.
means he's
right
working
there.
with stone.
He was, brother.
You got to carry those rocks. And then he was talking about the fishermen pulling up massive nets of
and it's
fish.
just the freshest.
And how do you think they got out there? They had to
Yeah.
paddle themselves.
They were probably yoked dude.
up.
It's
Had
just
to be.
different now. We just sit on our fat butts and watch TV and eat McDonald's.
And they couldn't have been. They weren't big by any means. They
No.
couldn't have been very
They're
big.
just
shredded,
just
dude.
But I guarantee, they were shredded and they were strong.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like your think
man.
of your grandpa.
I'd
Yeah,
actually
I
give
think-
anything to see that. I
I think
wonder if it
grandpa's
looked
strong.
healthy. You think they looked healthy?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Probably.
Think about it. Think about what they ate.
They ate fruits, vegetables, and lean meats.
And where are they getting that? From the garden.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering how much did they really did they look like skinny ripped? I don't know. My mind's just kind of trying to picture what.
I think I can't see them weighing. I can't see them weighing two and a
220
quarter.
yoked
I can't
up.
see them weighing 2 and a quarter. You're probably floating around on 180s, maybe
Yeah.
170s, like on the.
Then you got to
bigger
think
side.
about warriors too. They
Yeah.
had to be.
Like Goliath.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what he looked like.
That'd be kind of dope.
But you got to think
I
that
wonder
they're
if-
handling swords and they're carrying all that gear. Like, have you ever felt like a real
Yeah.
sword?
Yeah.
Like, it is freaking heavy.
It's a weapon. It's a real weapon. You have to
Oh
work for it.
gosh.
I wonder. Yeah, that's crazy.
I liked that tangent. That was a good little tangent.
Mm.
But I want to say, for me, on the sweatpants thing, I have to say this because I catch so much flack about it from Agnew.
Yep.
I used to be a sweatpants guy, like the baggies. I used to love those things. But when it came to working out, I just didn't like how like loose they were. I didn't like
That's valid.
feeling how loose they were doing all this functional movement.
I'm with you. I prefer joggers.
I'm a jogger, man.
I think they look cooler.
Just see, if I did ever wear sweatpants, I would wear them getting warmed up and take them off.
Right.
Or I would just squat in them.
Yeah, you see,
like
you see a lot of people, especially on Instagram, they're working out wearing sweats and shoes and no shirt.
That's dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks cool. Right? So it's-
No.
I think it looks cool.
It does. Puts out a vibe.
Yeah,
You're like, what's up?
or sweats, no shirt, and a toboggan on.
Yeah,
Like I've done that one. I think I've done that one probably.
That just puts out the vibe like you're the guy that gets in bar fights.
I also can't wear anything on my head.
Yeah, really. You've never been a hat guy. I've seen you wear hats a handful of times. Like
I think
at concerts and
honestly,
shows.
yeah.
What happened to Bucket Hat Thursday?
Well,
Oh man, I forgot about bucket hat Thursdays.
Tank Top Tuesday? Or...
slight promotion, and I talked to a lot of people, and I really just thought of it one day. I was like, I can't talk to all these people and have a hat on.
Yeah.
It doesn't
not a
come
good-
across as professional.
Yeah, it doesn't make you look like you are a coordinator of anything.
So
Yeah.
I just kind of dumped the hats, and now I just don't even wear them.
Like we got a
I've
second.
never worn toboggan. I've never worn a beanie.
Huh?
It just wasn't my thing. But I wore some snapbacks and stuff. But
As big as my head is, like I have to have like a really big beanie for me to feel confident wearing it.
yeah, like a bean bag on your head.
Yeah, or else it starts looking like a yarmulke. If I put on a regular beanie, it looks like a yarmulke just sitting on the back of my head.
The joggers, the only problem, I think they look cool. Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
they do.
They look definitely a lot cooler than the sweatpants. But they're just too tight, man.
These
Like,
are really the ones I have on today are
just too
really
tight.
tight, but I
What's
love.
the point though?
But, I mean, okay, but they're joggers, so jog in them. But don't, like, you're squatting and stuff, and you're popping and you're locking.
Popping?
Like, all this
Popping,
stuff's happening.
No, I'm with you though. Even if I wear joggers or sweats, I warm up and then I usually take them off.
And the bad, I will say, my only negative about joggers is I get a lot more booty juice when I'm wearing my joggers, which is
That's pretty gross.
like sitting down on a rower or sitting down on a bike, like, and I haven't even been.
You're actually notorious for working out with joggers and no shirt and a hat.
I've done that once or twice recently.
It looks cool.
Thanks, bro.
It looks cool.
Thanks,
I think it looks cool. Is it practical?
I don't think it
No.
doesn't look cool, but I wouldn't say it looks cool.
Not gonna say it doesn't. Does it make me look like a? Does it make me look like? Does it make me look like a tool?
No. I don't
Yes,
think
but that's the point of it.
That's the point.
Well, see, I don't pay enough attention to like diagnose what I'm thinking. I just like that's what he does.
Yeah, because you're a homophobe.
Nah, not a homophobe. Me and Steve get pretty close, but
Steve gets pretty close to you.
hey, I returned the favor.
Your turn, big gay.
Big guy.
Big gay. And really briefly before we get into our roundtable subject, we were talking about movies that we were watching on Netflix this weekend, and we wanted to kind of offer each of us toss out a Netflix recommendation.
You know what's
two.
funny is it's and I'm not making fun of you. It's not the weekend, but I saw a meme the other day on Instagram, and it was like
It's Thursday.
I know, but it was like
You're right.
it said. Now's the time from like Christmas to New Year's where no one knows what day it is, and I was like, "That's 100% right." I don't know
Yeah.
what
When
day it is. Work
yeah.
schedule is weird.
When I pulled up to the gym today, because we didn't have a 5 a.m. or a 6 a.m., I pulled up to the gym and nobody was here.
yeah,
And I thought it was Sunday.
Yeah.
yeah, dude,
And
it throws you off, man.
I about just...
It throws off your circadian rhythm.
It kind of does. It actually makes training feel a little bit funny.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, because you're not in a rhythm, so it just
I
feels...
don't really feel like an on-day or an off day.
Yeah,
I hate
it's just
it.
strange. But it's also nice because there's less going on, so you get a little more recovery time.
Mm.
It's kind of nice.
Agnew, you want to lead off with your recommendation?
What you got, man?
Yeah, dude, Bird Box. That movie, I saw the trailer last weekend, and it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think, so it's a good chunk of change there.
Most Netflix... Is it a Netflix original?
Yeah.
It's a
Most Netflix
original.
originals are not that long.
And they're not that good.
They're not that good,
They're
yeah.
not that good.
Yeah, but this, I saw the
As far as
trailer.
movies go, I'll say.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer, and basically what I'll tell you the overview is what the trailer says is it's very, they do a good job of like keeping it undisclosed.
See, we're not gonna play it out loud, but it's a Sandra Bullock.
Oh, so it's kind of like the concept of...
It's kind of like
A Quiet Place.
Kind of like Quiet Place.
Exactly. Yeah, very close to that.
Kind of like
So
Quiet
there's
Place.
basically this disease or whatever, something's happening to where it makes people kill themselves.
if you look at it.
Yeah, if you look at it. So now you got to be blindfolded, and that's what I told Sean this morning. I'll be the first to say that like with like work and stuff like that, I can really lock in and focus.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's time to relax and I want to watch a movie and I want to enjoy it, if you don't grab me in the first 20 minutes, I'm gonna cut it off.
Yeah, that's true for you. You really lose it.
So and this kept me. I literally paused it at one point, and Jenna was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Man, I wish there was another hour left, and there was only like 35 minutes
Oh
left."
man, really?
Yeah,
So
I was
it
like,
sucked you
I was
in.
really hoping. I was like, "Man, please be like another hour."
That actually that hurts me emotionally because
sucked me
so
sideways.
many times I was like, Nate, you want to watch a movie, man? When we lived together,
Yeah.
Hey Nate, let's watch a movie together,
I
bro.
know.
And he would, yeah, and we'd be watching it, and he would not be watching it, and it'd just be me watching it.
I literally,
Hurts.
I told Sean the same thing this morning. I never have been into watching movies.
Yeah.
I couldn't wrap my head around wasting 2 hours of my day in the middle of the day. Now, I will probably never watch a movie in the middle of the day,
Right.
ever.
Yeah, that's always a hard one unless it's like rainy and,
And
it's
at
on Sunday.
night, I'll watch sports. But lately with Jenna, I'll go over there on like a Friday night, and we'll rent something on Amazon for like $3 and watch it.
Nice.
But other than that, I'm not a big movie guy. But that's why, because I've seen so many crap movies, and I'm
Right.
like, this is a waste of my time. But I really wanted to see this movie, and it was, people are going to think I'm stupid. It was one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time.
That's awesome. I want to watch it now.
You're either not going to like it or you're going to love it.
I like the idea of it. The first thing that comes to my mind is I don't like that it's so close to A Quiet Place.
It's not, though. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. I think I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
my knee-jerk reaction is that
Yeah,
they're
it's
copying that.
Yeah,
But
it's similar, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's really good.
Kyle, do you have a movie recommendation?
I do, but I don't think it's on Netflix anymore. It
Hit 'em
was.
with
It was called Hector and the Search for Happiness.
Really?
Yep, and it was
Okay.
with the British actor who's in.
It is. It is
Is it-
still
is
on
there?
Netflix.
Let me see.
Hector and the Search for Happiness. That is Sean Penn.
Yeah,
No, Simon Pegg. Pardon me.
dude, it was such a good movie. I put it on one time and I was like, "I'll see how this is." And I was like,
Okay.
this is awesome.
All right. I'm gonna add
He
that to
basically
my list.
he it's just like he's saying. He goes on the search for happiness, and
Man,
it's a really
great.
deep movie. It's really like it's borderline emotional, but it was like
Borderline
it was
emotional?
just good, man.
Yeah, see, that's where, like, I wouldn't even watch that. But that's just different genres.
Right.
See, I'm a
Well, I can't give a movie recommendation, but I will give a television show recommendation on Netflix.
I think
If it's Parks and Rec, or
It's
The
not Park and
Office.
I thought you were
Recreation.
gonna say Parks.
This is a new
Oh,
this is a new
yes.
thing for me.
This is actually, I'm kind of, I'm slowly getting on
This is a
board
new
with
thing
it
for
here.
me.
Oh no.
Seasons. I'll just go ahead and say exclusively seasons 1 through 2 of Trailer Park Boys
It's actually,
on Netflix.
it's
It's
actually
an
kinda
incredible
funny.
show. I
It's
now
actually
be
kinda funny.
forewarned, our listeners here.
It's not true.
Agnew's movie was rated R. Kyle's movie was rated R.
Really?
Hector and Search for Happiness was rated R.
My bad.
Yeah, you're a horrible person, Kyle. And Trailer Park Boys, I do believe, is also TVMA. So, so please do not watch these. around
TVMA
your
is
children.
worse.
Yeah, TVMA. I don't know about.
I think
that.
it goes R, TVMA, and then NC-17.
Well, no, TVMA is not. You have movie ratings and then TV
Yeah,
ratings.
it's only
Yeah,
like
so
TV
TV
14.
Yeah, so TVMA is R.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's okay, Kyle.
so then what's NC-17?
NC-17 is like porn.
That's what it means.
Yeah,
I don't understand the NC-17 then.
I'll explain this to you. I'll
I
explain.
also
it.
got your text the other day. It was fascinating.
Oh,
Wow.
should we talk about
That's
that?
impossible.
Okay, so
Yeah,
That's impossible.
it can't be real.
No.
this
not.
rare NC-17. This rare rating is given to films that feature mature elements in such profusion or intensity that they surpass even the R rating. Okay, so it's
So it is a movie rating, but it's
It
just
is, yeah.
Have you ever
past
seen
R.
the movie Hostel?
It's weird.
Hostels or Hostel.
Hostel, I think.
How's it
wild
spelled?
movie.
Hostel.
Wait, have you really seen it?
Yeah, a long time ago.
The scary movie?
Yeah,
Hostel.
Where like the
oh,
beginning is all porn, basically.
I think so. Yeah.
Hostel.
We
okay.
watched it one day, me like a long time ago.
Came out in 2005. This is rated R.
Man, that's a really. We fast forward like the first 30 minutes because it was all just doing it.
Boning.
Maybe I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
it was
I
crazy.
know the premises. Maybe I haven't
Jeez.
seen it then.
That's a little bit much for me.
We were younger.
Ugh.
I mean, it came out in 05. That means I was 10.
Are you saying you would have watched it now that you're older?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Think of it.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember being
I
like,
like that.
13 or 14, being like, oh man, we should probably skip this.
What is happening?
Those are bobies.
It's scary, dude.
Another wild movie, since we're talking about movies, is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I've never been
Never seen
remotely interested to watch that.
I kind of am just because it's so wild, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, and it's
Okay.
insane. I think there's a first, second, and third. I think it's like a trilogy.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like
It's
that.
got Daniel Craig in it.
Well, I like Daniel Craig. Like James Bond.
James Bond.
James Bond.
Daniel Craig.
The name's Bond.
Daniel Craig can get cut up when he needs to.
Yeah.
The dude his pecs are probably bigger than yours.
A
Probably.
lot of those guys are, man. I watch a lot of those YouTube videos on how fast they get in shape.
And how people train them.
Yeah. Do you think they use drugs?
Oh,
Probably.
yeah.
I
Like
think
Zac
so.
Efron in Baywatch is like, dude, like
Yeah.
you commit your life to fitness and eat super clean, and like you're in good shape, but you're not. I mean, that's
Right.
he's
He's-
just different, man.
yeah, he
Yeah.
looks
And he's
different.
not. It's not genetics. He's on something.
Yeah, he's bumping
Some
that.
type of.
What about
fat
The Rock?
burner.
Do you think The Rock is? I mean, The Rock trains hard. I mean, I think he's that guy that's disciplined enough to train himself. But I think about his schedule. He travels.
And he doesn't
He
sleep.
works a lot. It doesn't seem like he sleeps a lot.
The only reason I would say yes is because he says he's been working out really hard his whole life, and I believe him. But if you look at him like the WWE days, he was not
Yeah.
like he is now, and he's
Yeah.
40 now.
Yeah.
So it's not like you just.
He's in the best shape of his life now.
The thing about that is
Yeah.
too is these conversations are good, but I don't want it to come across.
No,
as
hey,
that.
I'm
I
not
think
throwing
it's
sh- I'm not
bad.
You
throwing
want to take
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
take it. As long as you're not
Please.
playing a sport, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. The only thing I wish, though, honestly, is that if they are taking something, that they would be a little bit more open about it, because I
Yeah.
think it gives people the wrong idea.
Right.
You know, like, oh, if I do this, this, and this, I'll look just like that.
It was like C.T. Fletcher. I watched
Oh, yeah.
him and Joe Rogan were on a podcast, or he was on Joe Rogan's podcast,
Yeah.
and he was getting really big, training for like bodybuilding stuff. Someone came up to him and was like, "Man, you're big. You ready to like take it next level?" He was like, "Take these steroids." And he was like, "What's a steroid?" Like he did not know what steroids
Wow,
were,
really?
but he grew up watching Arnold and all these guys, and he was like, "I'm gonna be like that."
Wow.
And he said he took them for 6 months, and he said,
Did they work?
His exact word, yeah. He was like, "Did they work?" He was like, "Heck yeah." Man." He was like, "Yeah, they work." He was like, "But I took them for 6 months." And he said, "The only thing that I love more than lifting weights and fast cars and all this stuff is sex." And he was like, "I couldn't
Wow.
do it."
Like he couldn't get up.
Nope.
Wow.
He was like, "So I gave him 6 months of steroids and never touched it again." And he said it made him really like angry.
yeah.
He was like, "I'm already kind of like an
Temper.
a-hole." And he was like, "But like my wife and everybody was like, it was damaging relationships." He was so mad.
that's insane. Man.
But he said he got huge in 6 months.
wow.
And that's
So
one
stuff
thing.
works, but
That's one thing that's crazy is like the curiosity of like, you know, like how big could you get? That's always there. Like, I'll never grow out of that, and I'll never take
Yeah.
anything
See,
because I just don't.
I don't know that my interest is peaked enough for me to see how big I can get.
I hear you.
I've never thought of it in the fact that I've never thought of it be like, if I took steroids, how big, or if I took
Right.
something, how big could I get?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
never thought
just-
of it that way. It's just kind of like, it's just that, it's just like it's a freaking supersize me thing. Like whenever you like, you know that it would get you a lot more
Yeah.
Yeah.
than the hard work. But I mean,
I mean, look at it in
Wow.
Who wants-
sports.
yeah.
Like, and baseball's huge.
With steroids?
Oh my gosh.
Barry
Yeah.
Bonds.
Yeah.
You're talking about Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, Alex Rodriguez, like all these
All right,
guys.
stop the name dropping. We get it. You're a sports guy.
No, I'm just saying, like these guys, you look at them when they were first jumped in the league, and now they're more jacked. And
I
they're
forgot
way
about
bigger.
Sammy Sosa.
You know what I
Man.
think too now?
Sammy Sosa turned white.
The-
He had a surgery done. It's like a Michael Jackson surgery.
He's a white
really?
Yeah. No, I got you. Let me.
I did not know that. I recently listened to a podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast with Dr. Neil Reardon
Yeah,
and Mel Gibson. Did you listen to that one?
I listened to excerpts from it.
It was a stem cell podcast, and they were talking about some really cool stuff. I'd be willing to bet that a lot of people out there who have the financial support and the resources
Yeah,
have dabbled in that
and
In what? Stem cell?
stem cell.
power to him.
And I bet athletes have.
What's the benefit to that?
So it's there's a specific type of stem cell that they're using. It's called mesenchymal stem cell, if I'm saying that correctly. And essentially, they get it from umbilical cords. So they get the stem cells from umbilical cords, and it's not
It's not
damaging.
the unborn baby.
Yeah, it's not damaging to the baby. Like the embryonic stem cells, those come from the baby, but
Right.
the problem with those apparently is that they want to become babies. So when
Yeah.
they place them in bodies, they develop tumors.
Right.
So it's really challenging to use. But the mesenchymal stem cells, they can inject anywhere in the body, the shoulders, the hip, and I guess your body makes them in your hip joint,
Yeah.
but you can't access it or
Right.
something. But it's creating it's rejuvenating people's health like exponentially.
Bro, you have gone off on this episode.
Yeah, man.
No, but no, like
I'm gonna find it. Google's not pulling up, so don't pull it up. I have to do this myself. I'm restarting my computer because the Wi-Fi sucks.
But seriously, mad respect. Like you've gone off. You've gone full on. Like Professor Smart Brain over here.
Thanks, man. I've been listening. to
Agnew, can you get us that round table real quick?
Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
So, it's been a minute, but I think it's about time for that round table. Let's get it.
That's too far.
So really, I don't think. Well, add me on Snapchat. So baby's getting made tonight. Another that's another recommendation. That's Office Christmas Party.
It's hilarious.
I don't know if it's still on Netflix. It really takes a hard turn about like 30 minutes in and it becomes really. It's like a bizarre movie at that point.
Yeah.
But when you get like the first 20 minutes of it.
It's amazing.
And is that Sudeikis or Bateman?
Bateman.
With Jason Bateman.
The movie itself probably isn't like that good. Like
No,
the plot
it's
isn't,
not.
but the stuff that happens is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
He's got money strapped all over himself. But for the roundtable today, we wanted to talk briefly about injuries. We never really all kind of sat down collectively and talked about all the injuries we faced. I know we've talked. Is it Sammy? Oh my gosh, you're right.
It's wild, man. Why did he do that?
I don't know.
Out of here.
He is weird.
He's an animal.
He was on steroids. So is Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire.
Mark
McGuire.
Man, that's the thing about not to keep harping on steroids too, but like you have to know that if people find out, when they find out, it's going to taint everything you've ever done.
Perfect word. Taint your reputation.
That's why Bonds is he just like
he's a
he
pariah.
doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
There should be an asterisk beside.
He didn't earn it.
It's frustrating. That's why I hope it never comes out about like Froning. Like if honestly, if I were to find out that Froning was on stuff and still is, that would probably hurt. That would hurt me the worst. Cause, man, he's like one of my original idols. Probably for all of us, you know.
No, of course. Talk about an athlete that's been dominant in a totally different way. But I wanted to kind of talk about
Yes, man. Words, they're hard.
Wanted to sit down and have us all kind of collectively talk about our injuries, not necessarily the little ones, but the kind of ones that have affected our training and had us change things in training and scaling. I know we've all had significant injuries, kind of like Agnew has, where he's kind of going through this now. We've all had little tweaks along the road, but for instance, for me, I'll start. Back in 2013, when I went and fought at the Sport Karate World Games in Buffalo, I came back and I was having problems with my left ankle. And this was back, me and Nate were training. This was back in the old Vitality days when me and Nate were training together. I came back and I was having a lot of problems with my left ankle. And I went and had an MRI done on it, and they found that I had 5 broken bones in my ankle joint.
What?
And it was not like I didn't have like a broken ankle, but like all the little small bones surrounding the ankle joint, 5 of them were broken.
Dang.
And
that's brutal.
it was one of the most painstaking and longest recovery processes I've ever experienced, because I'm on my feet all the time. My ankles are like, what do you want me to do? You want me to get off my ankle and not do stuff on that? Yeah. And so I had, like one of the, those old lace-up little casts, little braces, little things?
Yeah.
I wore one of those for almost 4 months and was still training like 4 or 5 times a day, but it was no jumping. It was nothing that loaded that ankle incorrectly. Couldn't run. Wow. Spent a lot of time on the rower. One of the worst workouts I ever did, and this I'm glad I just remembered this, one of the worst workouts I ever did because of an injury and scaling was Helen with 500-meter repeats instead of the 400 run. Oh. So we're rowing, doing swings, and we're doing pull-ups. I just couldn't even close my hands on the rower when I got back on there. But
that's brutal.
I think that was one of my first real like major injuries, just having all those bones get shattered in my ankle after fighting up there. Agnew, did you ever have anything happen to you before your back got hurt?
No, that's why it was so frustrating, I think, just because I didn't know what to do. The only major injuries I had was...
His feet do look so big right now.
I got big feet, dude.
What are you, size 15s?
13.
Size 13.
But I had 2 concussions in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you get those playing basketball?
Yeah.
Those are that's a pretty serious injury.
That was like, I think it's categorized into like 4 stages, and the first one I had was a 4. I went up for a got in a position to take a charge, and I don't even remember how it happened, but I got kneed in the side of the head, like the guy's going up, and I got kneed, and I was out.
In the cabeza.
Yeah, just clocked, and I was out. And no exaggeration, it was like the movies where I was laying on my back, and I opened my eyes, and it was like the, whatever.
Overhead
just
lights.
The ceiling, yeah.
Overhead lights.
It was all just like shaking, and I was like, oh man, my coach came above me. And
Coach Pike?
No, this is a Covenant.
Oh,
it was
for real?
Coach Hardy.
Coach Hardy.
Yeehaw.
Oh, he was worse.
Greg.
Yeah.
Greg
And it was
Hardy.
like a bunch of him. And no kidding, you can ask my parents to this day. They took me back to the locker room, and there was a parent who was like a nurse or a doctor or something that was like checking me out. And they were like, all right, how many fingers am I holding up? And I said Tuesday. And he was like, you probably should take him. He's definitely got a concussion.
You said Tuesday?
Tuesday.
You were close.
He was like, how many fingers am I holding up? And I said, Tuesday.
That's awesome.
And they tell you, like, not to, you can't drive, you can't get on your phone, no screen stuff.
Wow.
And, man, I was messed up. Like, I was doing some dumb stuff for a while. I remember I was eating a sandwich, and I had a glass of water, like an actual glass. And I put it was a paper plate, and I put the glass in the trash can and the plate in the dishwasher. Like,
That's awesome.
But you really are kind of like...
You think you're doing it right.
Yeah, I just wasn't paying attention. Like,
Yeah.
It was just... And there was one other thing I did, and I can't remember, but it was really dumb. But you kind of, if it's that bad of a concussion, you really are kind of messed up.
It takes the things that are easy and the things that you can do without thinking.
Yeah,
And really, you have to actually think about what you're doing. That's it. You put a paper plate in the
hilarious.
dishwasher.
Yeah. My second one was my senior year of high school. That's when Jacob,
Oh.
I think I just keep naming Jacob Cheeks. What's his name? Jake Bolin. That's when he got kicked off the basketball team in the middle of the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's that story. Yeah, I was in practice. Brody Kerner actually came down. He had already graduated. He's in the Yankees minor league right now.
Hey, yo.
But
Danger.
And he played basketball, and we were just scrimmaging, and he got a rebound. I wasn't really paying attention, and just swung and just right to the side of the head. And no kidding, it's kind of the same thing. I was shook. I didn't like fall or like get knocked out, but I was just like, oh man.
Oh.
And then shortly after
Rocked.
we were shelling, I think, and it ended, and we were right to this thing called purgatory. I don't know why you called it, but we were shooting free throws.
You said you were shelling?
Shelling, yeah. It's like it's just a breakdown of the offense and defense. It's hard to explain.
Okay, sorry, I don't really know what sports are.
No, that's a tough time. Sorry, but and we did this thing called purgatory. We did every practice. It was a series of free throws at each goal. Yeah. And if the goal was right here, it was me and my buddy Hayden Parks. I'm not kidding. I like dribbled, and everything was just like blurry, and I was like, and the goal's like right here, and he's like, "What are you doing? Quit screwing around." I was like, "I'm sorry." It's shot like over here. Like I was messed up, dude. He was like, "Quit playing." I was like, "Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna throw up." And I was like, "I can't see," and I had to go to Miss Sparks, do the concussion test.
Jeez.
Wow, dude, that's brutal.
And that's why I was out for the Christmas tournament, and that's when Jake got kicked off.
Get your shit and get out.
It was great. I'm like 2 rows behind the bench, and there's like 15 seconds left, and Jake didn't really play, and he thought it was embarrassing. Like he was embarrassed.
Yeah.
And it kind of is. Like it's kind of a kick in the nads that you're like, hey, 15 seconds left, go get whatever you can get.
Go play.
And he said, I'm not going in. And Coach Pike turned back around. What'd you say to me, son? He said, I'm not going in with 15 seconds left in the game.
I don't blame him, honestly.
And he said, because he had done that a couple times, and he was like, son, you going to get your ass in the game. And he said, Coach, I'm not doing that. And he like paced back and forth, and then went and grabbed him and said, you get your shit and you get out of here. You go to the locker room, get your shit and get out. Yelling it. The whole gym stopped. And I was like about to lose it, dude. It was great.
Oh,
Like
what
did
did his parents get
His
mad?
parents weren't there. But his dad did get in a physical fight with one of our freshman point guard's dads in fall league.
Oh, no.
There's summer league, literally in the summer, fall league, like right before you start tryouts. Oh man, and it was bad. It was great. Coach McKenzie was. He was like, son, if you're 18, I'd take you outside right now. I'd kick your ass. Just because he wasn't playing good. And then he started talking back to him. And I was like, dude, just chill. And then his dad, it was bad.
See, I love hearing him talk about this stuff because it's like whenever I tell Nate that he should get into coaching sports, like this is all I can see happen.
Dude, I honestly, like, I would hit a kid.
I would give anything. 10 years from now, you're
Just
coaching the team. I come back and let's see what Nate's doing and watch him coach, and he's just going off.
You sign your kid up for Upward, and you're like, Agnew, where do I know that name? And then you show up, and he's
going off on my kid.
You're like, Bernier, get your ass over here.
I would lose it.
You're just like,
I'd be dying laughing.
It wouldn't be so much little kids. It definitely would be little kids. Like, I'd get very mad. But it'd be more like if some college right now is like, we're offering you a head coach position, like it would be very bad.
Yeah.
Because
that level too. I mean, you obviously can't be crazy, but you got to be intense.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle, what is it? What an injury! Never talked about your injury.
Yeah.
You've just been tweaking.
Yeah, I've been tweaking hard. Fortunately, that's all that I've dealt with here recently over the past couple years. I sprained my ankle one time in high school, twisting inside. So my left one, and it twisted that way when I was running shuttle sprints.
Yeah.
And that one, oddly enough, only lasted like a week. A week later, I was walking and running on it.
Tell about your Achilles.
Oh, yeah. Okay, in college, I got Achilles tendonitis. That lasted 4 weeks.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
Came out of nowhere, and I didn't realize how bad it was to keep moving on that because when it gets inflamed that bad, one wrong step and your Achilles will rupture. So 4 weeks I was off of it. But 2 years later, when I decided to longboard, 170 miles, which is a story in and of itself, I decided to longboard. My Achilles swelled up. My whole foot swelled up. Worse than I've ever seen.
Did Mike's?
No, but his right pinky toe almost fell off because it had such bad blisters. He had blisters on top of blisters on top of blisters. It was awful. But my foot was just messed up, and we had to walk a portion of the trip because I couldn't kick on the board anymore. My hamstring was messed up. It was bad.
Jeez.
But that happened, and again, that only lasted a week. It was the weirdest thing.
You're like Wolverine. That's actually what you're like. You're not like Jesus. You're like Wolverine.
The worst injury I've had that kept me out the longest, legitimately, was 8th grade in football. I got tackled and landed on my shoulder and separated my AC joint.
Oh, we can talk about. I can talk about this. About that in a little bit.
I was out for 5 or 6 weeks, and it was a JV team. It was 8th and 9th grade, and I was 8th grade, and I was determined to start. I will be a starter.
Hungry.
And I was deemed a starter as a safety, and I was like, hell yeah! And then I got hurt. I was really mad.
Well, speaking of separating AC joints, when we were at the beach.
Yes,
we were at the beach.
Dude!
2 years ago. Oh man, it's almost 2 years ago. Because was that last summer?
2 summers ago.
2 summers ago. 2 summers ago. We were staying at Jacob Norris's dad's house at I forget what beach we drove to.
Holden.
Yeah, Holden
drove
Beach.
up to Holden, and we were on our way back from Myrtle, and we set up a string in the backyard in between 2 trees, and we played volleyball over it, and then we started doing vertical jumps over it.
Yeah.
We started seeing who had some ups.
Me and Ross are just going back and forth.
Yeah, you and Ross. Yeah,
Ross.
He can jump.
He can.
He's just explosive.
Ross can sky. And so we were doing that, and then it got to the point where I couldn't jump over it not flat-footed, but jump off of it off my knees up, like an actual
running start.
Running start and tuck. I couldn't do that anymore, and I was getting frustrated because Agnew and Ross just kept showing me up, and so I look at him and I'm like, I'm gonna do a dive and a roll over off the other side.
Tactical roll.
Yeah, tactical roll. That's what we said. This is exactly a tactical roll. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. Lambo, I don't think you should do that, bro. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. It's like no big deal. And it was up to probably about my chin, so I don't know how big my head is, but it's probably about 5 feet in the air.
That string was up there.
It was up there, pretty high. And they were clearing it. And so I did my first one, nice and clear. And they were like, whoa. And then they were like, I don't think you should do that anymore. And I was like, let's take it up a little bit. And they kept jumping. We took it up to probably about my nose. So it's probably about 5 foot 2 inches in the air. And I do it. And instead of when you do a roll like that, you kind of have to come down on an angle and kind of like a 45.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing was I jumped up in the air and I piked in the air. So I brought my shoulders down first, left my butt up in the air. And so I immediately land right on the shoulder and make the roll perfectly. Land on that shoulder, sit up, and I just feel like this. It's just glued back here. And I was like, something's wrong with my shoulder. And everybody goes on, carries on about their day. And I'm like, I need some ice and some ibuprofen. And so I'm sitting there with it on there. And I go to my chiropractor, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's a grade 3 separation of your AC joint. And it's like my clavicle's like here, and my AC joint's floating out there. That was, obviously I was doing CrossFit at the time. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to train around.
Yeah.
Because I never really realized how much range of motion I needed to do simple stuff. Like, I couldn't squat. I couldn't even do back squats.
Wow.
I couldn't even going wide. Like, I could not put that barbell on my back and have that shoulder get pushed back into socket without that clavicle and that AC joint just screaming at me. And it was the most frustrating thing in the world because I couldn't find stuff to do. Like, holding things, I couldn't do carries because
pulling on
it and pulling it down. And I'll never forget just trying to work on the shoulder and trying to do things that didn't hurt it and find pain-free movement. I'll never forget we were running a squat cycle with Misfit, and I had missed the first 2 weeks of it because I couldn't squat. And I hopped in on week 3, hopped in during the 3rd week and did the 3rd week numbers for a 3x3 at like 90%. And I finished that set. I was here by myself. And I just was playing like really heavy metal music in here. I was just angry at everything, and I was like, I'm gonna try to squat today. And it just like started going well. And I finished my last set, and I dumped that bar off my back, and I turned around and I do what you would do. I turned around and I just went, yeah! I was just so angry, and I just couldn't contain it. But that was such an interesting thing for me, like with the ankle and then the shoulder. Like, it was 2 things that drastically had to
work around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing great, Devin.
You're doing great, Devin.
Yeah.
What is that from?
As a kid, I was in 8th grade at Harris Road. We had to give oral presentations. So we had to read a book and then do an oral presentation. And this kid, Devin...
Are you going to add
Devin
him right?
Dawkins.
You're going to add him
I don't
right
remember
now?
his last name.
At Devin Dawkins.
Super nerdy kid. Really nice kid. Really shy. But he got up in front... And I don't mind speaking like in front of people. It never bothered me. Yeah. So I went up and killed mine. And everybody was kind of surprised because they were like, why are you not nervous? And I was like, I'm just not nervous. Yeah. And so...
Watched a lot of ESPN as a child.
Yeah, that probably could have helped. I don't know. But anyway, so...
Shout out.
He's going and he's just really nervous. And he's just like, yeah. And then second chapter, like he was just really nervous. And then he just paused. And he was like, and then and just paused, and I just went in that exact voice. I was in the front row, and I just kind of leaned forward and I said, "You're doing great, Devin."
That's hilarious and so encouraging.
And I was like kind of joking, but like kind of serious. I was like, "You're doing great, Devin." And he picked that guy.
Coming from the dude that just crushed it. Thanks, man.
There's also one thing I forgot about this, and I'll make it quick.
The injury thing?
Yeah, I probably was my 3rd concussion realistically. In 6th grade, I was playing basketball, and we were playing Woodlawn. I hated Woodlawn. Number 1, because they weren't that good, and we always split with them. It was frustrating. Number 2, they had this tall blonde-haired guy on the team that all the girls at my school liked, and it was very frustrating.
Annoying.
Sunshine?
No, kind of. It was so annoying. He was really tall. He was kind of shredded. It was just annoying. He was in
everything you're describing was what I would picture
Sunshine.
a girl being crazy about.
Yeah, well, I wasn't any of those things.
Long blonde hair,
You're basically describing my exact build.
Not really. Yeah, minus the tall part. But anyway, so it's this guy, and I just hated playing against them because, like I said, they just weren't that good. But
Did you glass it? Did you glass it?
No, it was the exact opposite. So they pitch it ahead to him, and I'm running. We're basically like hip for hip, and I guess I jumped. Now, I guess he went up to make the layup like this on the right side, and I jumped late, I guess. I don't remember. But I jumped late, and he came down like this. I mean, elbow to the crown of my head.
Jeez.
And I busted my head open when I was a little kid, when I was like 8. Really bad. I mean, really bad. And I jumped up and hit the corner of a cabinet right there. I was the door was like slightly open, and the cabinet was right there, and I tried to jump up and squeeze through and just... Right there. It was really bad. And
nice.
So this kid's elbow came down and hit me in the head, and I was like this. And I was like, this hurts really bad. And then I kind of came back down. I was like, geez, like it really hurts. And I was just having my hands, And I came back down, and my hands were covered with blood.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad was the coach at the time, and I was like, I just looked up, and by the time I got back to the bench, and this is no exaggeration, you asked my mom, I couldn't open my eyes.
Blood.
Because it was just so bloody.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see anything. They had to
Dang.
take me to the locker room, and then I had to end up going to get, they don't give you staples, or they don't give you stitches, they give you staples. And so,
Stapled your head closed.
yep. So they literally were like, they had to numb it, so they would like put a needle, and they would like barely touch it. They'd be like, does this hurt? And then they would be like, does this hurt? And I'm like, yeah, that one freaking hurts. And that's exactly, if you've never gotten staples, it's literally like,
Yeah. Jeez.
like on the top of your head. Like you're laying down, and they're back here, and they just, it's the craziest thing. And when you
Wow.
pull them out, they're
The actual
Yeah.
staples. And they're thick, too.
yeah.
They're thick ones.
My aunt had to. There was time for him to pull him out. My aunt was a nurse, and she was just like, like yanking on my head, dude.
About to pull your scalp
4
off.
staples that time. I've had 8 total in my head.
That's pretty
Did you have
wild.
anything else you wanted to share? Because I've got one more. Quick one.
No, I mean, I've had various cuts and scrapes.
Because that's one thing with you, it's been interesting to watch you.
I got these.
over the
We won't tell that story though.
Maybe not that one.
injury on the side of my body. Very deep wound
From bear claw.
from a bear claw.
Single claw.
Is you just had like tweaks and stuff. Like you've never had like a really huge injury that's like sidelined you since we've known each other. I'll
Yeah.
say
Yeah. And I mean, that's
it's part of the game, and that's
yeah,
it's part of the sport.
part of the sport. And I mean, I don't know. I've been fortunate enough, but you know,
Mhm.
things happen. Yeah. So I
He's
don't
in good
know.
shape.
Yeah,
I don't
he is in
know
good
what to
shape.
say.
My broken nose too was pretty bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that changed things. I looked like a snack at prom though.
Was that here when that happened? No, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, he was in high school.
Yeah, I was in high school.
Yeah.
We were just about to move into this place. It was the May before we moved in here, so we didn't know each other yet.
Yeah,
But oh yeah, we got kicked in the face. It was somebody's shin. I was me and a guy. I don't think I talked about this on the show before, but we were fighting in a tournament and we were trading blows inside, and he went to go kick me, and I leaned to the side and I had my hand down, and he lifted his shin up and he went to kick me in the face, and his shin made contact with my. It was actually his knee made contact with my nose, and it immediately he landed it here and it just immediately pushed it up, and he actually ended up cutting me on my nose as well. And so it happened. I went down to the ground, and I kind of like flashed. You know, you talk about when you get hit hard. You know, you flash. I'm laying on the ground on my hands and knees, and I get up and I put my hand on it. And I finally, as soon as I take my hand off, I see blood in my hand, and I feel like the pain finally like hit me, and I screamed the F word as loud as I could. Like it was awful. And Dad just stood on the side and just watched it happen. I'm bleeding everywhere.
Wow.
The guy's about to like put the gauze up in my nose and it's bleeding everywhere and screaming. But whenever I came back, I had like 5 stitches in my nose, and I had 5 stitches because I had a cut here, and then they reset it, and I couldn't do anything that was upside down or anything where I actually built pressure in my face.
Oof.
So I couldn't do. I mean, couldn't do any handstand push-ups or anything that was super intense with the weight training because it just felt like my nose was going to explode. I mean, we all know that's my best feature. But
No doubt.
That's funny about your dad.
Oh, yeah.
My dad did the same thing when that happened. I busted my head open. He was the coach.
Yeah.
I was like, Dad, where were you? He said, well, I had to coach.
Yeah.
The game wasn't
Well,
over yet.
it's also the worst thing you can do, especially in a coaching position, or even I would imagine a parenting situation, is when stuff like that happens.
Like
is,
freak out.
is you freak out.
Yeah.
Because the second you start freaking out,
Because
you
what
have
happened
to be, like,
what happened with
calm.
Dad is like I was there and it was a tournament in Pittsburgh, and my mom wasn't there with us, and so it was just me and Dad. And so I'm sitting there in the ring, and the medic's working on me. He's got me sitting in a chair. I'm bleeding all over myself. And the guy's like, "Is your dad here? Or is your mom and dad here?" I said, "Yeah, my dad's here." And he's like, "Where's he at?" And I said, "He's over there." And as soon as I pointed at him, Dad finally came over. He's like, "You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be all right." And this lady that we had known who works on the tournament circuit, she comes over and basically starts being my mom. She's like, "You need to go get him some ice." And Dad's like, "He'll be all right." And she goes, "Go get him some ice." And Dad's like, "Okay, fine. Yeah, sure, whatever." And so
that's awesome.
it was a fun time.
I remember my dad coached me, like in Little League football,
Mm.
and it was like my first season ever playing tackle football.
Yeah.
And I went up to him. He was coaching, and I was like, "Hey, Dad!" And he looked at me. He's like, "I'm not your dad out here. I'm your coach." And I was
Whoa.
like, Coach. Yeah. Oh shit. All right. Lesson number one.
We're like, all right, thanks,
Tell
Dad.
me straight up.
Thanks.
One time we were getting beat by like 30, and I finally went by the bench on the way back. I was like, well, wouldn't get beat by 30. They were probably like a 14-0 run, and my dad still tells me this today. I was in 6th grade. I ran by the bench and I was like, Dad, call a timeout. And he's like, oh, good idea. That's a good idea. I'm like, Dad, they're on a run. Like, call a timeout. He's, oh, it's good. He wasn't paying attention.
That's
I knew what was going on, man.
You were assistant coach. That's clutch, man.
There were a couple times where my dad would grab me and be like, look, I need you to play better. Like, I'm trying, man.
Do you have Uno Moss one better than you?
I feel like coaching your kid has got to be hard.
It's a dangerous game.
It's got to be hard.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard.
We'll check back in with Agnew in about 10 years and we'll see what's cooking.
You know, when my
man.
kid hates me.
Yeah, when Nate has triplets and they're 3 of the starting 5 on your local basketball team here.
Why is that doing that? It's like
I don't know. It's
It's
still
glitching.
It always does this.
it's recording though, right?
It's a shit.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for enduring episode 19 for 100 and gosh, I can't even talk.
It's all right,
An
man.
hour and 6 minutes of content.
Wow.
We covered a lot of bases today, but
We did.
we thanks.
Man, you're doing great.
It's good to see you guys. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
You're doing great, David.
You're doing great.
You're doing great.
Remember, if you get injured, it's not the end of the world. It'll feel like a dark tunnel you fell into and you can't get out of. But you'll get out of there.
Shoot,
You can get out.
Kyle just constantly dropping the bars.
Love you.
Boys and girls, happy New Year. We'll see you 2019.